So close your eyes and just take a couple deep breaths just to settle in. We're going to calm down the nervous system a little bit so that we are less inclined to amp up the mind with chatter. And when you take a deep breath, you want to exhale and allow the exhalations to be longer than the inhalations. And as you exhale, just let all of the non-essential muscles relax, allowing your body to be supported by the skeleton. Maybe take one more of those calm, deep breaths with a slow exhalation. Now turn your attention to whatever sounds you can hear. They might be external or they might be inside the body. Notice if immediately when you hear something, if a little thought label appears naming the thing. Also notice if you get a mental image in your mind of what that thing is. Sometimes it happens so quickly that we aren't even aware that it's passing through consciousness. Right now, I'm hearing a lot of bird sounds, and it's very easy for the mind to just picture a bird at a certain distance from where I am, up in a tree somewhere. And yet, I can't know that that sound is coming from a bird. I can't know that that sound is coming at a distance. All that's there is a very specific and yet ever-changing combination of different sounds that is all being lumped together and labeled as bird sound. And notice whatever your object of focus is right now, can you experience it without that label, either the visual or the mental one? If your object of focus is my voice, notice if you can hear it as a voice, and then see if you can notice it as just sound. Is it possible even to hear it without parsing out what the words mean? Can you just hear it as melody, as texture? When you hear my voice, do you automatically picture a person's body? Do you see my face? Can you let all of that go and just come back to the raw experience of sound? Now, if you can hear some other sounds in your environment, even if it's a sound of tinnitus, just notice the ever-changing state of the sound, how it's not constant, It's new and different every moment. And notice if you have any sort of aversion towards the sound or appreciation of the sound. And notice that those two are just labels. Those are add-ons. Those aren't inherent or intrinsic to the sound. Tinnitus often has a negative connotation. We don't want it. It's irritating. It's annoying. And so we tense up the body and we push it away. And when we hear it, we label it as that thing called tinnitus. And it's so irritating. See if you can drop all of those labels, all of those associations, and just experience the raw sound as it appears. Notice as you watch whatever the sound is, whether it's inside the body or outside, if there's an implication in your experience that you are separate from that sound, that you are a watcher of that sound. And notice if you can find where in the body is that watcher felt, that hearer, that one who is aware of the sound that is not itself. Do you feel a constriction someplace, tense, tightness, contraction, maybe a buzzing or a tingling? Get really curious about the experience in the body. Whatever jumps out at you, just investigate it. Is that yourself? Is that tension actually hearing sound? How could tension in the body hear a sound? Don't turn to thought to answer the question. In fact, notice if when you're listening to sounds without the labels, without the associations, if the mind generally becomes quieter for a moment, and if perhaps you can even find a certain light, open spaciousness in your experience. If you do experience that, just allow it to be. Don't grasp onto it or cling to it. Just notice. and keep listening to sound as raw experience. And again, while you're listening to this raw sound, investigate, where does it feel like you are located right now? You, the hearer, you, the knower. It might be the same place as before, or it might be someplace different. No judgment, just be curious. Wherever it is that it shows up, turn the light of your awareness onto it to investigate what is actually there that is being taken to be me. What is it that is being assumed to be a self? And does it hold up to the scrutiny of your awareness? You can do this all throughout the day at any time. It doesn't have to be in a formal sitting session. At any moment when you hear sounds anywhere, you can see if you can hear them without the labels, without the judgment. And then after a few moments, notice what changes happen in the body. Notice if there's an openness or relaxation. Notice if the mind calms down. And then from that space, see if you can find a watcher, a hearer, a knower, a witnesser.